Now the main confusion is, okay, then what is CLB 7 out of 12 versus what is B2 level? With the increase in the number of questions, the difficulty level of the questions will increase, which also means the weightage of those questions will also increase. This works for, okay, you know what, how much do I score out of 40 to get CLB 7? Writing and speaking test, they are checked twice. One by the examiner who is taking your exam, other it is also sent to. Okay, so whatever the score is, if you want to get CLB 7, yeah, but this is how you will get. But now what is this? What are these levels? Hello everybody, so welcome to this video and I hope you are doing well. And this is going to be one of the most important videos. If you do not know this information, you may not be able to score well in TEF Canada exam, because this is a very important thing to know. How TEF Canada exam is evaluated, we are going to properly understand that in all 4 modules. Basically, the main question we are trying to solve over here is, you know, what is CLB 7? Like, out of how much score is CLB 7? And for my PR, what will be the actual score? Like, what score do I need to actually get that CLB 7 out of, out of 12? Or what levels do I need to be at? What is the exact score that I need in reading, listening, and writing, speaking? All these questions will be answered in this video. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everything on the official website of TEF Canada on how is the TEF Canada exam evaluated. I'll be putting all these links below, so you can go over there and read it for yourself as well. I want to make it available to you as well, so that you are able to, you know, understand everything in detail and do your own research. Okay, the tests are assessed on the scale of Council's Europe Common European Framework of Reference, which is called CEFR. Okay, which is called A1 to C2. Now this is something which, you know, generally everybody knows. Okay, A1 is a complete beginner level, and then we have A2, then we have B1, then we have B2, then we have C1, and then we have C2. These are the levels which are given by Common European Framework of Reference of Languages, which is also called CEFR. All over the Europe, whether it is French, whether it is English, whether it is Spanish, whether it is German, this is how every language is divided in terms of the level. Complete beginner level is A1, then you go on to A2, then B1, B2 are intermediate, where B2 is upper intermediate, B1 is lower intermediate, then C1, C2 are advanced, which we don't need to again worry about. TEF score scale has been mapped to the Canadian language benchmarks, which is CLB. This is what you need to know. Okay, when we say to get your PR, आपको CLB 7 चाहिए होता है out of 12. This is what do we have, CLB 7 out of 12. Now the main confusion is, okay, then what is CLB 7 out of 12 versus what is B2 level in French, or what is B1 level in French, or where I need to be in order to get CLB 7, or where I need to be in order to get CLB 5 out of 12. These two are very important questions, and if you do not know them properly, if you do not know the math, or you can say the planning technique behind it, you won't be able to understand which score you need, and you will get more confused. So let's understand that properly. Now first, let's understand overall reading and listening comprehension tests. See, reading and listening, both of them, they go on for reading goes on for 60 minutes, listening goes on for 40 minutes, and you have 40 questions in reading and 40 questions in listening. Okay, listening actually goes a little bit less than 40 minutes, but generally it comes out to be 40 minutes. I'll put over here M. Alright, and the reading and listening comprehension test are in the form of multiple choice question. Only one answer is possible. Alright, so 40 questions, all of them are multiple choice. When the answer is correct, you get a point for it, but when the answer is not correct, there is no negative marking, you just don't get any point. Alright, but there is one important thing to understand over here, is that the scoring criteria is not linear. That it means ki, okay, you cannot just score X out of 40 to be sure that it will be CLB 7 plus or CLB 5 plus. Why? Because the score that you get will increase with the difficulty of questions. Okay, let's say this is question number 1, this is question number 40. Let's say out of 40 you got 28 correct. Okay, but majority of them were correct from the last 20. Then you will get higher score than the person who still got the same score, but he had most correct in the first half of the test. Alright, so this is also very important to understand. With the increase in the number of questions, the difficulty level of the questions will increase, which also means the weightage of those questions will also increase. This works for reading as well as listening. Okay, so when you guys ask, okay, you know what, how much do I score out of 40 to get CLB 7? Well, there is no clear answer. Okay, for CLB 7 as well, CLB 5 as well, no clear answer, but there is a range. Okay, which I recommend is being at around 29 to 30 out of 40. This is a safe range. Sure, you can score 28 as well if more answers are correct from the last 15 to 20 questions, then sure, you'll get high score for that, and you can even score 27 or 28 and still get CLB 7. That is also possible, but a good range to be at is 29 to 30 out of 40 in reading or listening, whichever one you want to focus on, or both of them. This is for CLB 7. And for CLB 5, this is generally around 23 to 25. Again, we cannot really give a range. It can be 21 as well. It can be higher end of 25, 26. Again, it falls under CLB 6 overall, so 26 not really the case, but anywhere between 22 to 25, I would say, not even 21, 22 to 25, you'll be able to get around CLB 5 score. Okay, but again, you cannot say, oh, I'm scoring 21, that means it's sure I'm getting CLB 5. No, that's not the case. As I mentioned, if you're getting most of them correct from the first 20 questions, then that's not the case. You have to do, overall well, you have to perform well. Okay, now let's talk about writing and speaking. See, I'm also going to explain you guys these things. Okay, so like this is very small thing that I'm explaining, but after then that I'm going to properly give you a structural understanding on what is this 8, 7, 6 and why do we have B2 or B1 over here. And then I'm also going to show you this thing on how to actually calculate your CLB. And then I'm also going to show you one real result of one of my students under which this particular, you can look at this particular bar to understand how much level, how much CLB you can get according to your score. Okay, so we are going to talk about everything today, which is very useful. So let's understand first of all writing and oral expression. Writing expression consists of two tasks. It is assessed by two independent, trained and experienced assessors. Over here, I'll tell you one thing. When we talk about writing exam and speaking exam, okay, now these are speculations, but for writing and speaking, there are two checkings that happens. Okay, one checking is done by the examiner, all right, who is taking your exam in that particular, center, speaking as well, all right, and for writing as well. And then that exam goes to the headquarters of TEF Canada as well, which is there in, France, in Paris. It gets checked by them as well. Both of them are evaluating that particular aspect, and whatever the average score is from both of them, from both of these people, these are independent checkings. They do not know your name, they only know your attestation number. They give the marks independently, so there is no bias. And then whatever the score is, let's say this person is CLB 6, this person gave you CLB 6 in writing and this person gave you CLB 8 in writing. Overall, actually, you will be in between, which is CLB 7. Same thing with speaking, CLB 6, 8, you will be CLB 7. So writing and speaking test, they are checked twice. One by the examiner who is taking your exam, other it is also sent to, second time it is sent to the headquarters to get checked, and whatever the average score is, that's what you get actually. You can also put into re-evaluation, but again, because it already happens twice, the chances of getting test re-evaluated with more score is very, very less, but it can still happen. Now, the question is, what level do I need to achieve on TEF Canada? See, you need CLB 7 for all tests for express entry program, okay, and CLB 5 is required for Francophone mobility program in listening and speaking. Okay, so as I've written again, I'll write it one more time. CLB 5 speaking and listening, you need CLB 5 in speaking and listening, and CLB 7 is required for RLSW in all 4 modules. Okay, now what is the CLB, right? What is the CLB? Let's understand that. Well, in test, in French exam, like once you are giving exam, see, it is getting evaluated on a different table. Your exam, they don't give you points for sure, for reading and listening, the scores are out of 40, right? The scores are out of 40. But then for each answer, for each response, there is a particular scoring. Like for example, I'm just giving an example. Question number 4 will have 17 points. Okay. Question number 24 will have 43 points. Okay. And question 1 to 40, whichever ones are correct, those correct scores are multiplied with their individual points and you get a total score out of 699. Yeah, this is a weird, why couldn't they just keep it like out of 40? I have the same question, all right? Why couldn't they make it as easy as IELTS? I have the same question, but it's TEF Canada. French is, not only French is difficult, but also understanding their scoring criteria is difficult. But honestly, it's not that difficult, okay? It's easy to understand. So let's say you scored 29 out of 40. Okay, according to this score, according to which questions were correct, you will have a particular score out of 699. Okay, if you get 40 out of 40 correct, obviously that will be 699. But if you get anywhere less, it will be some fraction out of 699. So that means if in comprehension écrite as well as comprehension orale, which means in reading and listening, in order to get CLB 7, or also called NCLC. CLB is equal to NCLC. It's just the French name of CLB. Alright. So in order to get NCLC 7, you need to score 434 to 461. Alright. So 434 to 461 out of 699 in reading and listening. Simple. Okay. I'll show you an example of one of my students. So recently Rajan cleared his exam. He gave exam on 20 December, and if you see over here, this score, okay, we are looking at this score, listening over here, comprehension orale. It was 605 out of 699. That means, so where is the bar for 605? Here, okay. So 605 comes between this range. So that is why he has CLB 11. Very simple to understand, alright. That is why he got CLB 11. Speaking and writing is different. Now, you cannot have an objective score. Why? Because it's not MCQ. Speaking and writing cannot be MCQ, but the examiner gives you the score. Okay, so whatever the score is, if you want to get CLB 7, you need between 428 to 471 in expression écrite, which is writing, and you need 456 to 493 in speaking. Alright, same thing. If I go back to the score, expression orale 481, okay, which is 456 to 493. That is why he has NCLC 7. And this equivalence ancien score, honestly, you don't need to know this. They just give the score, but as long as you are calculating your score, it's not even you who calculates it. This is the score basically out of 699. So whenever you put your exam under Canada Express Entry profile, they will be asking you which range you are in, and according to the range, they will update your score. Yeah, but this is how you will get. But now what is this? What are these levels? Now these levels, let me just show you one more thing. These levels are nothing but again just a range. Okay, just a range. So if you score between 400 to 499 in any exam, okay, then you are either CLB 7 or CLB 8. If you score between 500 to 599, then you are in CLB 9 to CLB 10. If you score 600 to 699, this is 11 to 12. But honestly speaking, you guys don't even need to worry about A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Like, you don't need to focus on which level I should get in the exam. You should focus on which CLB should I get, which is the 7, 6. Some students have got B2, but they have got 6, which technically stands at B1. So yeah, this is very weird. TEF Canada should explain it more properly, but they don't seem to do that. But anyhow, you don't even need to worry about that. Generally, B2 falls at CLB 7. So, you know, when at Frenchify we are teaching from A1, A2, B1, B2. This is what we are doing. We are training you for CLB 7 and more so that you can score better. B2 is equal to CLB 7 or CLB 8. This is what you should do. When talking about B1 as well, now people will be like, oh, if I can get CLB 5 or 6 at B1, can I just go at B1 level and give my exam? No, that's not the case. Why? Because you still need to go on to B2 level. If you are at that level, that means you have that CLB. That's not the case. It requires exam practice as well. But yeah, this is the general explanation. This is how the exam is evaluated. So recently, Frenchify programs have gone through a big change and a lot of things have been added, and the system has been made so much easier for students to learn French in a proper community while completing the tasks on regular basis and being able to track their tasks. Frenchify programs are something which are essential for students also trying to learn French for TEF Canada in a very short amount of time. If you're a beginner and you want to get some discount, make sure to use this discount code Frenchify50 and you will get $50 discount on your A1 program. Also, are you unsure what level are you at right now? Make sure to watch this video, which will give you an understanding what is the competency that you need if you're at A1 level, if you're at A2, if you're at B1 or B2. And you can view the playlist of all the students who have cleared their French exam under Frenchify so that you're able to follow their footsteps and follow their journey and learn from their mistakes as well. Make sure to subscribe because it's completely free for you and it supports the channel. It helps me reach a wider audience to help them get their PR in Canada. Oh wow.